We are all pawns in the game of life, sacrificing for each other, always moving forward. Football is not a game for Shaquille Nettles. It's an escape, a shelter from life's adversity.
The only thing that stops me from thinking about things is just playing football. My mind just goes blank.
On the outside, Shaquille is a normal high school kid. Going to class, hanging out with friends, normal. But dig a little deeper.
It's a unique story, it really is.
And you'll find this 18-year-old is anything but average. Nettles grew up in downtown Buffalo, living with his mom, 4 siblings, and a passion for football.
I have 2 older brothers, and they both taught me how to play football because I was not that good.
It was important to them, it was good for them to keep them out the streets.
The streets is an urban culture, often including gang-related activity, drug dealing, and other illegal behavior.
We always wanted to focus on the football and focus on school. We never really tried to focus on the streets, but that was always there.
One night, when Shaquille was 11, the streets came to the family's doorstep.
All I can remember my mom going crazy.
Next thing I know, I'm like this, okay, now where's AJ at? And next thing I know, I hear a gunshot.
Shaquille's oldest brother, AJ, was shot in the leg, the wound just an inch from paralyzing him.
I remember like it was yesterday. I felt like it was a dream.
More like a nightmare, because that was the reality of the streets.
That life, it really not for him, it's not for none of us.
Growing up, the brothers didn't have a male role model.
They didn't have no father figure. I was the mother and the father.
Times I will probably cry and wonder who my father is, and never really knew until I was probably 16.
He's incarcerated.
For what?
Drugs.
When Shaquille was 12, he lost a mother figure too.
I stopped living with my mother when I was in 6th grade.
Why?
Drug use.
I started doing drugs. Shaquille was 1 year old.
She was pregnant with my little sister, and when my little sister was born, she was born with a hole in her heart.
Because of the drug use?
Because of the drug use, yes.
I did drugs for 13 years.
13 years. And what drugs?
Do crack cocaine.
How'd you get it?
The streets.
Shirley Nettles fell victim to the same streets she protected Shaquille from. So Child Services forced her to give up custody before she went to rehab.
How tough was it for you as a mother to
Lose let my I'm laughing to keep from crying. If I could start all over again, I would.
Shaquille and 2 of his brothers went to live with their aunt, but a different kind of trouble followed him to school.
6th and 7th grade, Shaquille was what I would call a frequent flyer in my office. He was sent to the office quite a bit.
I would get in trouble for stupid things, just like, I don't know, running down the halls, throwing the pencil at someone.
The pen that goes flying across the room probably came from Shaquille's hand.
Heidi Rotella was the principal of Shaquille's school, and she was determined to find him an activity besides football.
So I just threw it out there. What about chess club? And I had already tried 4 or 5 other names. What about chess club? I said, sure, I play. And I did a double take.
I knew how to play chess from playing online computer games with my uncle. He taught me how to play chess.
In the same way that he can focus on multiple opponents in football and in basketball, the same is true about chess. He could see 4 moves ahead.
Then came one move Shaquille never saw coming. Rotella entered him in a chess tournament against other schools.
I didn't think I was going to do so good because I came in there with an Under Armour and a football jersey on, and all the other kids were wearing shirt and ties. So I was like, this is not for me.
He played and won, and then won again, and then won again. All day long they played, and he came in 3rd.
I think it's more of a proud feeling, knowing that you did something that you couldn't do, that you thought you couldn't do.
Shaquille made believers out of his teachers too, especially one named Shawan Sadler.
As we were preparing him for high school, we just felt like he just needed that additional support.
Shaquille spent his freshman year at Cardinal O'Hara, a private high school, and it was Sadler who paid his tuition.
I don't know, it made me feel loved.
However, Shaquille transferred to South Park after a poor experience at O'Hara. After his sophomore year at South Park, he moved back in with his mom. His mother was out of rehab and off drugs, but the gang violence was still around. So 2 weeks later, Shaquille moved in with Sadler and her 4 daughters.
He honestly became the son that I'd always wanted.
Midway through Shaquille's junior year, Sadler got a job in North Carolina. Shaquille could either go with her or stay in Buffalo.
The only thing that stopped me from going was my little brother.
One problem, Shaquille didn't want to live in his old neighborhood.
Where I want to go, this is not going to get me to where I want to.
So he began asking for a place to stay. Friends, former football opponents, even his former principal.
Just like in chess, he can think ahead and come up with a couple of options.
Shaquille found a home in Williamsville, staying with eventual teammate Casey Nucciarino and his family, his knights in shining armor.
Because you see kids all the time, and they're great kids. They just got stuck in bad situations.
After 6 weeks, Rotella opened her home as well.
I talked to his mom, actually prior to that, and she agreed. She said, I want to do what's best for Shaquille, and right now he's not in the best place for him.
I called them my sister because if it weren't for them, I don't think Shaquille would be with me where he's at right now.
Now a senior at Williamsville South, the only gang in Shaquille's life is family, connected by blood, bond, and blue jerseys.
1, 2, 3, 7. He had a lot of trials and tribulations in his life that he's overcome, and being out here and being part of a greater cause and a team and a community that really cares about him, I think he's embraced that.
Shaquille has found recourse at home and refuge in the end zone, transcending the odds with every move. Pawns are the soul of the game.
Where do you go from here?
To the next level.
Speaking of levels, Shaquille was on a different one this season. 60 catches, 950 yards, 18 touchdowns, and he'll be on the move soon. Shaquille's received interest from colleges. Albany has offered him a scholarship, and 4 other schools have shown interest. His future is bright, wherever the next step takes him. Jonah Javad, Channel 2 Sports.